My name is Abigail Sewell. I'm originally from Franklin, Mass, but I've been living in the Boston area for the past 2.5 years now. I'm in Jamaica Plain. My family consists of me and my son, Maxwell. He is 3, and we're just happy to be doing this. I became homeless when I became an active user of drugs and alcohol. Spent years homeless and decided after I had my son that I needed help. I lost custody of my son, and that just wasn't a life that I wanted to live anymore. And so I went into treatment. 2.5 years later, Max and we got placed in an apartment. I spent 2.5 years in the shelter. That was immediately after treatment. So luckily, after treatment, I didn't have to do any couch surfing. I was in a shelter, but it was an experience, but I learned a lot, and I used that time valuably. I heard about Higher Ground through my son's school. He goes to Higginson Elementary. I had been trying to find out from their resource person about housing placement because I know that Boston Public Schools tries to place all of their homeless students and families while they're in the school system. Well, the best way to say it is I spent 2.5 years in the shelter, and in those 2.5 years, I filled out endless applications for different apartments, and I've been on waiting lists. I got hooked up with Candace, and I want to say within a month, she had a lead on housing for me. Then within another month, I was signing a lease. So it was by far the fastest process I had experienced in housing search. I'd say it was a great experience. It gave me a lot of hope. Candace was really knowledgeable about the programs and was very positive, gave me information about different apartment complexes, different programs that were doing housing. She walked with me through the whole process and answered any questions that I had, and told me that if it wasn't something that I wanted, that she would still work with me and I could still stay with Boston Higher Ground and continue looking for housing if what had been offered to me was not what I wanted. I'm trying to adjust to the quiet life after living in the shelter and being around so many people. It is very different with just me and my son. I'm enjoying the quiet. We like to go hiking, and I get to cook dinner every night and just sit and relax and be together. I'd have to say, don't give up hope on finding housing, especially if you get to work with Boston Higher Ground, because it was an amazing process. It was easy. It calmed my nerves. Candace was there for me all the time. She was quick to respond. She answered any questions that I had. She was knowledgeable. So I would tell people that if you can get placed with Boston Higher Ground, that your chances of finding housing are good. Some of the best lessons I learned were to take the advice that was given to me. When I went into the shelter, it was not the optimal place for me. It wasn't exactly where I wanted to be. No one dreams about being in the shelter, but to have the time there to work on myself was the best thing I could have done. I got my license back. I got full custody of my son. I went back to school. All these things were probably not possible if I wasn't in a shelter at the time.